Hey guys, this is Gaurav again. In this video I'm going to talk about the extended version of SUMIF, which is actually SUMIFS. So how is SUMIF different from SUMIFS? Right, so SUMIF, they are basically the same thing. SUMIF also basically sums up some values based on the criteria you provide from a given range, and SUMIFS does the same. But SUMIF have the first one, the SUMIF have single criteria, and this guy can have multiple criteria. Alright, so what it means by multiple, so let me just show you. So again, same way, right? And if with any other function you can do a SUMIFS as well from the function, or you can just type it. So let's get started. So if we go by functions, it will ask you sum range and criteria range, and then you have to basically just provide criteria, and you can actually provide as many criteria as I think as you want. So let's see. So let's say from this small table, if we want to know how much is the grand total for Greg, then we can actually use one SUMIF because it's just single criteria. But if I want to know how much Greg scored in maths, right, then basically this is my criteria 1 and this is criteria 2. So this can get complicated. You can have as many as criteria as I said, but let's see how SUMIFS works. So 1, okay, let's first have a look at how this thing goes from functions. SUMIFS, sum range. Sum range is again where you want to pull the sum from, this range. Criteria range, what is your criteria? The name of the student. So what's your criteria range? Here. Then it is asking for criteria. What's your criteria? It's Greg. So this, with this, you have already defined for one of your criteria. You can end it here as well, and then it will work like a regular SUMIF, right? So it gives 150, like our last video. If you have seen, if you haven't seen our last video, check my video on SUMIF, and then you will see, it's the same table I've been using. But now if you want to know Greg's scored in maths, if I want to pull this value using a formula, then I have to provide multiple criterias. And let's go back, then here. Okay, what's my second criteria? The subject. Select the criteria range, which is the subject range. Then where is my second criteria? This is the maths. And let's do, okay, 50. Okay, so what it means that Greg has two values or two records with these two variables. And let's check. Filter Greg and then filter maths here, right? So the value we had was 50, and from our data set the record count, the record sum is also showing 50. So it means formula is working. The other way to do to put the formula is, again, if you remember the formula, you can just type it in. It starts with SUMIFS bracket start, and it asks for the sum range. Select your sum range, comma, criteria range. Where is your criteria? And you can take interchangeably these criteria. So this criteria can be criteria number 1 and this can be criteria number 2, so that doesn't matter. So let's do it like that. So criteria 1, range 1, so let's say subject. So who's that student, or how much did they score in maths, and who are we talking about? Let's say we are talking about Greg in our question, right? This, enter 50, bingo. So that makes sense, right? So let's give it another try because the formula is quite complicated. So let's say if you want to see how much did Frank scored in English. Right, okay, so let's get started. Equal to SUMIFS bracket start. Now where is my sum range? Here, comma, my criteria range, student name, comma, criteria is Frank, comma, criteria 2 is my subject, so that's this, comma, and what's my criteria? The second criteria is English. Enter. 60. Okay, so let's see if we can find out. So these is English subject and this is Frank and this is my intersection 60. So this makes sense. Frank scored 60 in English. Alright guys, so this was a quick snapshot on SUMIFS. In case you have any question, please drop me a comment. If you like the video, please click the like button, and in case you want me to make any more videos like this, let me know which function you would like to know, and I will, in my next video I'll try to explain that. Great, thanks for watching.